Hello everyone, how are you guys doing? Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. And today we're here with another video, and today's video will be on herb runs in old school RuneScape. I always looked for this as a person that was trying to get into herb runs and just trying to remember what I needed to do. And there's not a whole lot of guides on just a general herb run in old school RuneScape, so I figured that's what we would come with for today. So there is a couple things I gotta go ahead and set straight beforehand. If you guys are unaware as to what the farming skill is and how herb runs work, basically there's a way to gain XP in the game. It gets very minimal XP, and that is by picking herbs. Mostly this is for profit. You shouldn't plan on getting levels through this if you actually want XP. However, you can do tree runs. If you guys want, I can do a guide on that in the future. However, today we are focusing on herbs and what they are able to do for you in old school RuneScape. So if you're wondering, is this worth it for me or not to do, I will go ahead and link you guys to a video where I compare herb runs to just anything else that you can do in game and decide whether or not it's worth it to you. That link will be in the description down below. But with that said, let's go ahead and talk about the locations of herb patches in the game. Alright, so herb patch number 1 is located southeast of Falador. Basically, the way that you can access this herb patch is by either using a Amulet of Glory and running there. You could teleport to Falador if you wanted to, or the preferred method, if you have it unlocked, is by having an Explorer's Ring that allows you to teleport to the Cabbage Patch just south of the herb patch. The second herb patch is located in Mauritania, just west of the Ectofunctus. Basically, the way to get here is by using an Ectophile. If you don't have that, you can go to Camelot and pay a fare to go ahead and then go to Port Phasmatis, and then basically from there what you're going to want to do is just run west. If you guys want to go ahead and get the Ectophile, you will need to complete Ghost Ahoy to do that. The third location is in Catherby. This is pretty simple. You just teleport to Camelot, run east, and you are pretty much there. There is a closer teleport on the Lunar Spellbook, however, I mean, they're relatively similar and the time saved isn't all that significant. Then the fourth location is northeast of Arty. If you have some of the Arty diaries unlocked, you can actually teleport here. However, for most players, what they do is they go ahead and teleport to Arty, run east through the village, and then north along a little mine, and eventually you'll find your way there. The fifth herb patch requires you to have My Arm's Big Adventure done, along with the completion of Edgar's Ruse. So basically what you're going to need to do is to make this even worth it, you will have to teleport here, which requires the Edgar Ruse completion. On top of that, the herb patch itself is unlocked after My Arm's Big Adventure, and if you have some diaries done and a high agility level, you can actually access a shortcut, which will save you about 30 seconds. However, depending on what kind of player you are, you can decide for yourself if that's worth it to you. Then the sixth patch is located in Kurend. Basically, the way that you can go about accessing this is you can either use a relocated house teleport to go ahead and teleport to Kurend, or if you have the Xeric's Talisman, you can rub it and then go to the Glade. Now from there, you're going to want to run southeast, and there is one upgrade that you can get on this patch. While it is not inherently disease-free, if you have 50% Hosidius Favor, it actually will be disease-free. So if you want that, you can go ahead and get that. And then the last one that I don't think is all that practical to most players is the Harmony Island herb patch, and there's a lot of requirements behind this. However, the herb patch itself is unlocked when you complete the Mauritania Elite Diary. So it's something that maybe if you passively complete the diary may be worth it. However, going out of your way for that, maybe not so much. Now, at lower levels of farming, it's quite hard to go ahead and get your level up. It's kind of time consuming, so if you guys want to go ahead and speed that process up, there are some quests that you can complete. I'd already recommend getting Fairy Tale Part 1 done because the reward will allow you to get more herbs per patch with the secateurs that you were able to get. However, on top of that, there are some other quests that the RS Wiki has that I have on screen now that you can go ahead and complete for easy and quick lower level farming levels. One thing I will go ahead and say is the inventory setup that we will be using will be based around the idea that you're using a regular spellbook. However, if you're on Lunars, there are a couple things that you can do with this that you can't do with the regular spellbook. That is a Cure Plant spell. If you're really cautious about your herbs and really want them to live and want to focus on them, you can go ahead and use this whenever you start to see one die. There are different overlays that you can get on different clients for that. However, on top of that, you do have the Fertile Soil spell, which allows you to pretty much get super compost just for using the spell. However, the spell is more expensive than the super combos themselves, and the Cure Plant isn't all that helpful unless you're actually going to be around it quite often or are willing to focus on it. So that's one thing that you gotta go ahead and take into account. However, this will be on the normal spellbook. So the inventory setup goes as follows. So basically, as you guys can see, bring the appropriate amount of seeds that you will be using depending on the amount of herb patches you have unlocked, a seed dibbler, a spade, on top of that, obviously your magic secateurs, and weight reducing armor if you have it. However much you have will be more than helpful, as you will be losing less run energy, a glory depending on your teleport method, and just teleports around the game. On top of that, ectophiles, Zeric's talisman, stamina potion, the whole lot. Basically, this really depends on what you have unlocked. If you have the Lumbridge diaries unlocked, go ahead and bring an Explorer's Ring, or if you have the Arty one, bring an Arty cape as well. Alright, so now I will show you guys what my average herb run looks like. Basically, we're starting off in Camelot. Starting location depends on a lot of things, so you can go ahead and figure that one out for yourself over time. Whichever one works best for you, there's really no right way technically to go about it. However, players play differently, so feel free to do however you please. Basically, what you're going to want to do, once you come to the patch, go ahead and pick all of your herbs. There is one thing that could be helpful, and that is something that I did not say earlier, and that is that rakes are really helpful sometimes. You can keep one on you, or you can keep one in the leprechaun if you please, but every now and then, if you get unlucky and like harvest your patch on the right tick, you may actually have some weeds show up on your farming patch, so feel free to go ahead and take those away with the rake. Now with that said, there is one cool feature that you can go ahead and use these herbs on, and that is that if you use them on the tool leprechaun, they will actually become noted. This eliminates the need for banking and makes your herb runs a little less tedious. So from there, I typically go to the ectofunctus, so all you're going to need to do is just use your vial, run to the northwest, and then you will be at your farming patch. Once you enter the farming patch, go ahead and yield your herbs as you would at any other one. And from there, we will go to the glade. Now what you're going to need to do is go ahead and rub your Zeric's talisman, and option number 2 will be the Zeric's glade. From here, you need to run to the southeast a little bit, and you should be pretty close. The Korend house teleport puts you a little bit farther away. However, it's not that much of a difference, so if you do not have the talisman unlocked, it's not a huge deal. However, once you're here, as you guys can see, go ahead and pick your herbs as you would at any other one, and continue with your trip. Now from here, we'll go ahead and go to the Trollheim one. This is quite the obstacle, so you will kind of have to pay attention. Basically, go down Trollheim as you would any other way, just run down around the rocks, and eventually you'll come on over here near the entrance to the cave. Upon nearing the cave, you will see that there is an agility shortcut that you can use if you have certain unlocks. Basically, you need a little bit above 70 agility, and on top of that, you do need to have some of the Fremennik diaries done for that. It's quite a tedious one to do. However, it will save you 30 seconds in time, so if you see yourself actually doing this many herb runs, feel free to unlock it. There are also other helpful unlocks you get through the Fremennik diaries as well, so I'd recommend doing them all in all. And now this patch is something that will never be diseased. I still recommend using super combos on it, as it does speed up its time in which it takes to be able to harvest, so that is useful. However, I guess technically if you don't have super combos or you can't be asked making them, you definitely do not need to do so. From there you go to Arty. If you have the Arty cape, go ahead and use that. However, you will be running to the east, and after you get outside the gates, go directly north. From there, go ahead and go northwest, and you will find yourself at the Arty patch. Go ahead and harvest the patch as you would any other. And from there, if you have your Explorer's Ring, you can go ahead and use that and go to the cabbage patch. However, for those of us that do not, we will be teleporting Draenor Village. Just go ahead, run east and then north, and then you will be near a little passing. There is a little ramp that you can go to the north along the fence line. However, I'm not entirely sure if it's that much faster than the regular walking method. So, I mean, whatever you feel like doing, I guess, go ahead and do that. Once you go ahead and run through the cabbage patch, you will be located at the herb patch. Pick this as you would any other one, and that should be it. One thing I'd like to add is that with the completion of some of the Kandarin diaries, you actually are able to increase your yield in the patch that you go ahead and use. So depending on what you have done, you can go ahead and get more. It starts with a medium. If you complete medium, you get 5. Hard, you're able to get 10%, and elite with 15. So with that said, I hope this video was helpful. It was just a general guide on how to go about getting your herb runs and what requirements are really needed as far as old school RuneScape is concerned. However, if you guys want more of an efficiency guide, as I said earlier in the video, go ahead and check that out. That compares the overall efficiency of actually doing herb runs, whether or not they're worth it. It's a really good question to ask yourself before you go ahead and do these. Is it worth it to me to actually spend my time doing this or not? It's something you have to get out of the way before going ahead and doing this, so I'd highly recommend it. However, if the video was helpful, make sure to leave a like. If there's any videos you want me to go over in the future, any guides you want me to make, leave those down in the comments down below. If you enjoy my content and the channel itself, or along with my videos, feel free to hit that sub button. I have a Twitch and Twitter link in the description, so feel free to hit those up. After this video actually comes out, I will be streaming on Twitch, so go ahead and hit me up over there. However, with that said, that will be it for me today, so I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and peace.